Hi everybody, it's Nikki here, and say with me, it's Bookgammon time. Yes, it is that time of the month where I play my TBR game Bookgammon, which is based from the board game Backgammon, to help me pick my upcoming month's TBR. So let me put it down because you know she gets noisy. Okay, so starting off with the housekeeping. First of all, we do our priority picks. The priority picks are any books from this month's current TBR that I have not got to. They become priority picks for the prompts that I will be picking for the next month, so for February's TBR in this case. However, because I am taking it easier on myself this year, I don't have any priority picks. I have finished, or at least started, every book that was on my TBR for January, so no priority picks this month. So moving on, we have put teeth in, Nicola. We have our Starbook and our bomb book. So the bomb book for February is going to be this one. This is from my 12 books will self-destruct in 12 months video, which I may link for you down below. But this is A Second-Hand Husband by Claire Coleman. The reason why this is a bomb book is because I don't think this is the type of romance that I enjoy. I feel like it's going to be a domesticated one. It's not going to be smutty enough, and I don't feel like there's going to be enough banter in it to keep me entertained. It says Natalie and Carl are newlyweds, but the honeymoon period is over already. Carl has just bought their first home without telling Natalie where it is, never mind showing her a picture. And Natalie is horrified to discover it is minutes away from Carl's ex-wife Antonia. And to make matters worse, Antonia's palatial mansion has a fully functioning roof, unlike the ramshackle cottage Carl has bought for them. Now it says second-hand furniture has much to recommend it. Second-hand clothes can be ever so chic, but second-hand husbands are proven to be a very bad idea indeed. Can Natalie escape the label of wife number 2, or is she destined to share her husband forever? So it does say funny, fresh and unexpectedly touching. However, I'm still a little bit dubious about it. So this is going to be my bomb book for February. If we land on the bomb square, well, it's not really a square, it's a circle, isn't it? If we land on the bomb token, then this is what I will be reading. But if I land on the star token, and I don't know where I've put my tokens, they're somewhere, but I don't know where I've put them. But if I land on my star token for the month, then I'm going to be reading this. This is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. It is part of the Court of Thorns and Roses series that she is currently writing. It's a behemoth of a book. It's huge. But this is the type of romance that I prefer. Smutty, good banter, good plot line, intrigue and stuff. So yeah, I can't read you the synopsis for this because obviously this is part of a series. But Court of Thorns and Roses is all about a woman called Feyre who is out hunting to help provide meals for her family. And during one of her hunts, she kills a wolf that she later discovers was actually a fae. The lord of that particular fae comes to claim her, as, you know, she shouldn't have killed the fae wolf. And she goes across the border to the world of the fae, and things continue from there. It's a Sarah J. Maas storyline, so who knows where the plot is going. So yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this book. I've heard that it's particularly smutty, so I'm very much looking forward to this. But I do still need to read A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is kind of like a novella for Sarah J. Maas books, before I get to A Court of Silver Flames. So actually both of these are going to be my star book. Now normally reading 2 books is not a star book quality, but it's Sarah J. Maas, and Sarah J. Maas is always star quality. So for other people this might be a bomb book situation, but for me, star quality all the way. So if I land on the bomb book, I get A Second-Hand Husband by Claire Coleman. And if I land on the star token, I get 2 books from Sarah J Maas as part of the Court of Thorns and Roses series. So A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames. So let's roll to gameplay and see what is happening for my February TBR. Roll gameplay. Okay, so we are here for February's Bookgammon. So let's place the Starbook and the bomb book tokens first. Let's do the bomb token first. So here's our random number generator. Let's generate a number. Number 18. So 6, 12. So it's on the orange space here. And for the Starbook, let's generate number 7. Hopefully that means we might land on the Starbook this month. So another orange space. Let's shuffle our prompt cards. Go. Right. Only playing with 1 dice, remember, so all doubles means we have to go backwards. And if we do go off the board in that going backwards, then it is a book buying ban for the month. Only pre-orders or gifts are accepted. So our first roll, a 6 and a 2. Oh no! So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So close. So going for the yellow prompt. Oh, and it is I can buy the next in series. So this means I have permission to buy the next book in a series that I am reading. Wonder which one that might be. Our second roll. A 4 and a 2, so 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're looking at the blue prompt. And the prompt for this is to read the sequel of the last series I started. So I have to look at the last series I started and read the next book in that series. We're very close to the bomb book. Remember what I said about the Starbook? Never mind. Roll number 3. Fingers crossed, people. A 3 and a 5, so that is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're on the pink space. Oh, I like it. Steamy romance. That needs no explanation. Very happy with that. Could this be our last roll? 2 and a 1, so that's 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we are home. So we did not land on the star token or the bomb book token. So let's flip a coin and see which one we're going to do. Okay, so let's go heads for Starbook and tails for bomb book. Which one are we going to get? Heads! Starbook! Yes, it's a good month. So that is Bookgammon over and done with for another month. So that was gameplay. So we only got 3 prompts for the month and we had to flip a coin again to see whether we were going to land on the bomb book or the Starbook, because I do like to have at least one of those. Whether or not I land on it, we flip a coin if we don't. So for the first prompt, we landed on yellow, and the prompt for that was I had to buy the next book in a series, which basically gives me permission to go out and buy a new book. So I have bought the next book in a series that I have recently started. This is The Mistake by L. Kennedy, part of the Off-Campus series. In January, I did read the first book in the Off-Campus series called The Deal, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Spoilers. Each book is kind of like a standalone romance in their own right. However, each book is following two people from a group of friends. So they are interlinked, but each will stand alone, I believe. However, I feel like with these types of books, yes, they are standalones, but when they're interlinked, some events in other books might spoil the events in later books. So in this book and in this series, we are following sporty protagonists. So we have a male ice hockey player, I believe, called John Logan, and his life is all parties and hookups. But he did have a sexy encounter with a freshman called Grace Ivers, and unfortunately he made a thoughtless mistake that pushes her away, and he plans to spend his final year proving to her that he's worth a second chance. And she is back at the university, and if Logan expects her to roll over and beg like all his other puck bunnies, he can think again. If he wants her back, he'll have to work for it. So I'm expecting great banter and great romance in this, as I had from the deal. So very, very excited for this one. For our second roll, we got the blue prompt, and this time it's the sequel of the last series I started. Well, the last series that I actually started was Shatter Me, also read in January. So I'm going to be moving on to Unravel Me by Tahira Mafi. Shatter Me is about a young girl called Juliet who is dangerous to touch. She can kill with just one touch. And so for that, she is imprisoned and isolated. But suddenly another young lad is put into the same cell as her. And the story continues sort of from there. I don't want to give any spoilers away. I really enjoyed the first book. Again, I need to do a read and wrap up. But I'm excited to move on to the second book. There is a novella between Shatter Me and Unravel Me, so I may see if I can get that on Kindle or something, and read that before I get to this one. I don't want to miss any of this story if it's going to add to it. So that is that one. And our third and final prompt was from the pink category, and the prompt for that is steamy romance. Perfect for February. All of these books were perfect for February. I couldn't believe how good Bookgammon was to me. So I am going to pick Wretched by Emily McIntyre, and this is again from another series, the Never After series. Again, these are all standalones, but they are... I'll read you what the author writes in the front of each of these books, because it just explains what these books are so much better than I could. So it says, Wretched is a dark contemporary romance. It is a fractured fairy tale, not fantasy or a retelling. The main character is a villain, and if you're looking for a safe read, you will not find it in these pages. Wretched contains mature and graphic content not suitable for all audiences. Dark romance is a sliding scale, and what is considered pitch black for some will be light grey for others. Reader discretion is advised. Highly prefer for you to go in blind, but if you would like a detailed trigger warning list, you can find it on emilymcintyre.com. So there you go. Please do look into the trigger warnings for this if you are interested in the synopsis. So a woman can be great and terrible too. Evelina Westerly has always been the bad guy. As the brains, brawn and botanist behind her family's drug empire, she's her father's ruthless secret weapon. After a one-night stand with a gorgeous man at a nightclub, she's sated her urges and is back to her criminal ways. That is, until that same man shows up at the new Westerly lackey, under a totally different name. The more they learn about the darkness in each other's hearts, the more alike they seem, and when hatred turns to something more, Nicholas will have to decide whether he can love a wretched woman, even if it means bringing both of their lives to ruin. So I really enjoyed books 1 and 2 in this series. This is book 3, so I'm going to be reading Wretched by Emily McIntyre for the steamy romance. And of course we had to flip a coin to see whether we would win the Bomb Book or the Starbook, because we didn't land on the tokens during gameplay, and I landed on the Starbook. So the good news is that A Court of Frost and Starlight will actually be a reread for me, because I have been rereading the first few books in this series, so I can catch up, so I can get to this. This will be a first time read, but I have read the series up to A Court of Frost and Starlight before, but it was so long since I read the Court of Thorns and Roses series that I have been rereading the books via audiobook. So I still have the audiobook to listen to for this, and then I'm probably going to move on to this physically. I do like to read them physically first and then do rereads with audiobooks. So yes, I should be able to get to this very easily. So that is my Starbook. So for my Bookgammon TBR, it is looking something, or let me turn them around, something like this. So we have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, Unravel Me by Tahira Mafi, Wretched by Emily McIntyre, and A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. But that is not the only books I will be reading during the month of February, because I have agreed to take part in not one, but 2 buddy reads. Yes, call me crazy. This is not the month to be doing buddy reads, but I did it. I agreed to, so I'm going to do it. So the first buddy read is with my good friend Charlotte. She messaged me saying, hey, the 3rd book in Defy the Night series has come out. Did you buy it? And I was like, yes, of course I did. Do you want to buddy read it? However, I haven't read book 2 yet. So we buddy read book 1, I'd say over a year ago now, when it first came out. And we meant to buddy read book 2, but both of us had other things going on at the time, so we ended up not buddy reading book 2. So neither of us had actually read book 2. So Charlotte said, well, I kind of want to reread Defy the Night first, then read book 2, then read book 3. So I agreed to reread Defy the Night with her. So it is a reread. So that should make it a lot easier to get through, because I know kind of what happened. My memory is really pants. So hopefully it should be a quick read, because it is a reread, and then hopefully next month we can move on to book 2 as a buddy read. So I'm going to be buddy reading Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer with my good friend Charlotte. And then the second buddy read that I agreed to do, this is where I shot myself in the foot, really. But I'm excited for this book. So my good friends from my local Waterstones book club, and who I play D&D with, we've been talking about doing a buddy read for quite some time now. And this book particularly came up as one that we were all interested in reading. So we're reading it in February, the shortest month of the year. But I am going to be buddy reading A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon, which is the prequel to Priory of Orange Tree. Priory of the Orange Tree? Priory? The Priory of the Orange Tree. Because why not? Why not? So this will be pretty much like so many pages a day. This will probably take me the whole month to finish, because it is over 800 pages, 846 pages. So this one is actually longer than the Priory of the Orange Tree, because I believe that was just over 800 pages. So yes, so now my TBR is looking something a little closer to this. It's getting heavy now. So now my February TBR is a buddy read of A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon, a buddy read and reread of Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer, then my Bookgammon TBR of The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, Unravel Me by Tahira Mafi, Wretched by Emily McIntyre, and A Quarter Frost and Starlight and A Quarter Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Lots and lots of books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books in 29 days, and two of them are big books. I got a lot of reading to do, so I am going to leave it there and well, not get started because it's not the 1st of February yet. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!